Dear students, in this lecture, we will define self-adjoint operator and prove some of the results for self-adjoint operators. So first, let us define what are self-adjoint operators. Definition: an operator A on an operator A on Hilbert space on Hilbert space H, an operator A on Hilbert space H is called is called self-adjoint if A is equal to A star. If A is equal to A star. So adjoint equals to operator itself, then it is called self-adjoint. In last lecture, we have already proved that zero operator and identity operator are always self-adjoint on any Hilbert space H. Let us prove the result. Let H be a Hilbert space the collection of all self-adjoint operators, the collection of all self-adjoint operators form a real linear subspace, form a closed real linear subspace of BH. What is BH? It is set of all functions from H to H which are linear and bounded and hence a real Banach space. It is also a Banach space, a real Banach space which contains the identity transformation, the identity transformation. So, in order that the statement is clear, I will recall the terminology and introduce some notation so that statement of this theorem becomes clear. First of all, let us recall what is BH. BH is set of all those functions T from H to H which are linear and bounded. So it is collection of operators on H, that is those functions T from H to H which are linear and bounded. Then let us define tau as collection of those functions from H to H which are linear and bounded, that is A belongs to BH and they are self-adjoint. A is equal to A star. So it is clear that tau is subset of BH. It is clear that tau is subset of BH. Now we want to prove that tau is real linear subspace of BH. So first fact which we have to prove is that tau is real linear subspace of BH. Tau is real linear subspace of BH. Secondly, we have to prove that tau is closed subset of metric space BH. So let us prove this fact. It is real linear subspace means it is vector space over R, field of real numbers. So to prove this, let A1, A2 be self-adjoint operators, that is they belong to tau, and alpha beta be real numbers, Consider alpha A1 plus beta A2 star. So in the previous lecture we have proved properties of adjoint. By properties of adjoint I could write it as alpha A1 conjugate plus beta A2 conjugate. This equals to alpha conjugate A1 star plus beta conjugate A2 star. But alpha and beta are real numbers. Recall that they are real numbers. Hence, we have alpha conjugate equals to alpha. So it is alpha A1 star plus beta A2 star. Since alpha and beta are real numbers, but A1, A2 belongs to tau means they are self-adjoint by definition of tau. So this I can write as alpha A1 plus beta A2, since A1, A2 belongs to tau, and so A1 star equals to A1 and A2 star equals to A1 star equals to A1 and A2 star equals to A2. Okay. Thus, what we proved? We proved that alpha A1 plus beta A2 star equals to alpha A1 plus beta A2, and hence so by definition alpha A1 plus beta A2, by definition of tau, it belongs to tau, that is it is self-adjoint. Hence, so alpha A1 plus beta A2 belongs to tau. Thus, we proved that tau is closed under addition and scalar multiplication, real scalars I mean, and scalar multiplication. Hence, this proves the first claim that tau is real linear subspace of BH. Hence, tau is real linear subspace of BH. Tau is real linear subspace of BH. Secondly, we will prove that second property which we need to prove is that it has to be a closed real linear subspace. So it has to be closed subset of metric space BH. So let us prove this. Tau is closed subset. Tau is closed subset of metric space BH of metric space BH. When a subset of metric space BH is closed if it contains all its limit points. So let A be a limit point of tau. Let A be a limit point of tau in BH of tau in BH. Then if A is limit point of tau in BH, then by definition of limit point, there is a sequence, then there is a sequence AN, then there is a sequence AN in tau such that AN converges to A in BH. AN converges to A in BH. In order to prove that tau is closed, we have to prove that A actually belongs to tau. It is in tau. So consider for positive integer n, consider norm of A minus A star. This I could write as add and subtract AN. So this I could write as A minus AN plus AN minus AN star, add and subtract AN, add and subtract AN star minus A star. So we are adding and subtracting AN and we are adding and subtracting AN star. By triangle inequality, I could write it as norm of A minus AN plus norm of AN minus AN star plus norm of AN star minus A star. This is equal to norm of A minus AN plus norm of AN star minus A star, because these two are equal. Why they are equal? Since An is equal to An star as An belongs to tau. It consists of all self-adjoint operators. Okay. So this term is equal to 0. It is equal to 0. So we are left with only first and third term. Now again use properties of adjoint. So this I could write as norm of A minus An plus norm of An minus A star. This is going to be equal to what? Or again use property of adjoint. Here which property we are using? Since T1 minus T2 star equals to T1 star minus T2 star, this property we are using. Again this gets simplified to A minus An plus norm of An minus A. Since norm of T is equal to norm of T star, norm of T is equal to norm of T star, this is clearly equal to 2 times norm of An minus A, because these two are equal. And as n tends to infinity, this tends to 0. This tends to 0 as n tends to infinity, since An converges to A. So this difference we can make as small as we want by taking n sufficiently large, and hence this is equal to 0. So this is going to be 0. Hence we have A is equal to norm of A minus A star is equal to 0, that is A is equal to A star. So A belongs to tau. Thus what we proved, if A is limit point of tau, then A is in tau. Thus tau contains all its limit points. Tau contains all its limit points. Hence tau contains all its limit points, and implying that tau is closed linear subspace of BH. Tau is closed linear subspace of BH. Since BH is complete, why BH is complete? Because BH is nothing but BHH, and if this second is complete, H is complete because it is Hilbert space, then BH is complete. Closed linear subspace of complete space BH, We know that a closed subset of complete metric space is complete, and hence we can now conclude that tau is closed complete linear subspace of BH is complete. It is closed of subspace of complete, hence it is complete. That tau is complete linear subspace linear subspace of BH, and hence and hence and hence a real Banach space, and hence a real Banach space. Note that BH contains note that BH contains note that BH contains I because it is note that I belongs to 2 as I star is equal to I. So this completes the proof. We have proved all properties which were in the statement of the theorem. The conclusion is that tau is a real Banach space. It is a closed linear subspace of BH which contains the identity transformation. Okay, this completes the proof. Now let us see an example. If T belongs to BH, that is H is Hilbert space and it is closed and it is linear and bounded operator on H, and inner product of Tx and Y is 0 for all xy belongs to H, then T must be equal to 0. Proof is quite simple. Inner product of Tx and Y is 0 for all xy belongs to H. This implies that taking Y is equal to Tx, we get that Tx is equal to 0 for all x belongs to H. Here you may let me write it for understanding. Taking Y is equal to Tx, which also belongs to H. Okay. So this implies, now it is easy to observe that this implies norm of Tx is equal to 0, norm of Tx square is equal to 0 for all x belongs to H, and so we have norm is 0 if and only if vector is 0. So this implies Tx is equal to 0 for all x belongs to H, for all x belongs to H. So this implies T must be equal to 0, and this is what we wanted to prove. Before I conclude this lecture, let me prove a very simple result which we are going to take as a theorem. The statement of theorem is this: let A1 and A2 be self-adjoint operators, on H, then A1 composition A2 that is A1 A2 is self-adjoint if and only A1 A2 is equal to A2 A1, that is they commute. So I could write it here if and only if A1 A2 is equal to A2 A1. So composition of self-adjoint operators is again self-adjoint if and only if these operators commute with each other. So that is what we have to prove. So let us see proof of this result. First, let us assume that A1 A2 is self-adjoint. A1 A2 is self-adjoint. This implies that A1 A2 composition its adjoint equals to the operator A1 A2 itself. By properties of adjoint, we know that if we take adjoint of composition, it gets reversed. So it is A2 star A1 star equals to A1 A2. Since reason is this, T1 T2 star equals to T2 star T1 star. This implies A2 star is equal to A2 and A1 star is equal to A1. So this implies A2 A1 is equal to A1 A2. Why is it? Since A1 A2 are self-adjoint. Now, this is what we wanted to prove in first part. It is easy to observe that all steps can be reversed back here. So it becomes if and only if, and this is what we wanted to prove. A1 A2 is self-adjoint if and only if A2 A1 equals to A1 A2. This completes the proof. With this, we conclude this lecture. Thank you.